Well, we started something up in April.
Uh-huh.
It's taking off a little slowly.
Yeah, a little slower than I thought it was going to.
A little slower. But I want to try it. I want to give it a good try throughout the summer and everything else. If by the time we roll around to September, October, we start getting towards the end of the year and it hasn't taken off, then obviously we'll try and we'll revamp and we'll find something different to try.
Right.
Many people do Patreon page. Many people do, all that stuff. We elected to do a thing called the Steel Horse Thunder Posse. And it's just a separate Facebook page. And it's more of a private page to where you become a member. You subscribe to it. It's $4.99 a month, and maybe that's too expensive. I didn't think $5 a month was that expensive.
I didn't think so either.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe you'll have to check that out. But it was a page kind of to help us. Everybody that joins that page is $5 a month. That helps us with our production costs, helps us with all the stuff we do.
Right.
But in my mind, there would be a lot of people that would join on that, and then people could post their own rides on that page. You can post your own flyers on that page. It can become a nice big motorcycle hub for anybody that rides motorcycles. You become part of that page. You can start advertising your stuff on there and help get the word out with other, and that was my whole thoughts was how this was going to work. Now I know, it's been up for about a month and we have maybe 10 or 11 members and that's it. And obviously it's not going to do anybody any good if that's all that's on there.
Right.
The whole purpose of it was so you could help broadcast more of your own stuff. And obviously if there's only 10 members on there, you're not going to be able to broadcast it to too many people.
No, I mean, it kind of stinks because it, like you said, our idea was this is going to become a motorcycle network for Indiana. That way, if you're, say you're in Fishers and you got a ride and you post it on there, maybe somebody down in Bedford sees it and is like, that'd be pretty cool to be able to take a ride up there and go on a ride up there with someone. Because if you're not in that area, you're probably not going to see that. And vice versa, for people up north to come down south to the better roads of Indiana.
Most of southern Indiana is really good. You have to be pretty selective in northern Indiana.
Yeah, there are some good roads up in northern Indiana, but they're very far and few between compared to southern Indiana.
Whoa. Let that sucker out this time. By golly.
But yeah, I mean, $4.99. You get at the top of the Steel Horse Thunder page. There you got the like button, and what used to be the follow button is now the subscribe button. You hit subscribe, bring you up to the screen explaining what you get. You get to be part of the Posse member page. You're going to get some free stuff such as stickers, patches, things like that along the way. A private party that's only for subscribers. I don't remember what else we put in there. But there's some perks to it, as well as being the biggest part being able to be on that page.
And we're going to be posting some certain things are going to go to that page, and it won't ever go on the regular Steel Horse Thunder page.
Yeah, you're only going to see them on there. Page. Yeah, outtakes, little clips from different things we cover, behind the scenes stuff. So I thought it was a really good idea. I thought it was really cool. Something that was going to be unique. Yeah. Hopefully it takes off. I know there's been a lot of groups want to know if like the whole group can join as one, and I know it has to be a personal page. You can't use like my Cameraman Wes page cannot subscribe to that page. It has to be a personal Facebook page.
Gotcha.
So it cannot be a business page or a group page, something like that. I mean, as much as we would like everybody from all the groups to join, if they're only wanting one member, you know, maybe your president join or the club treasurer or something like that, somebody that's going to be very interactive to be able to relay messages. It'd be nice if the whole groups would join. That way the whole community is there. But
yeah. So that's a good point, though. It has to be a personal page.
Yes.
So technically, like Steel Horse Thunder's page could not join and be a member of that.
Right.
I mean, obviously we're administrators.
Right.
So but so if you have, say, the Outsiders have their own Facebook page, they wouldn't be able to go on as the Outsiders.
No.
They would have to click on either as Gino, the president, or, you know, one of those guys or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, it just sounded like a fantastic idea. I thought to me, this is much better than doing just a Patreon page because you get a lot more for your money, I felt like, with this. And, I don't know, maybe there's a reason I was a sawmill, you know, dry kiln operator for 25 years for a career and not a social media network guru.
It's only been up for a month, so we'll keep pushing it. If you're watching on YouTube right now, or listening on, you know, Spotify or any of the other channels or whatever the heck they're called,
right? Platforms.
If you're listening anywhere, you know, if you want to see what it's all about, go to Facebook, type in Steel Horse Thunder in the search bar, and you know, just look it all up. You can see everything that's involved. If you hit subscribe and you don't want to actually go into it, you can still hit subscribe and see, you know, what you get, all that. Gotcha. And then if you do decide you don't want to do it, you just hit the back button. It's not going to charge you or anything like that.
Okay, cool. So you'd be able to look at it. So, yeah, and I felt like Facebook was proper only because I do know more of the older people are on Facebook as opposed to, I know you got Twitter or X, whatever. X. You got X now, and you have Instagram and all that stuff. And I know a lot of the younger people, I mean, a lot of people use that. I mean, all your celebrities and all that stuff all use all those things. I don't use that as much.
Right.
I know we did some stuff on TikTok for a while. Then all we heard was how TikTok was, you know, the root of all evil.
Right.
And where that was getting banned, and no way they were going to allow that. Yeah. So we didn't really continue with the TikTok. And then, of course, obviously, it's still there.
It's still there. So
still doing just fine.
We might join up on that.
And then I realized, the reason they all say it's communist is because they allow you to say whatever you want to say. They don't censor. It's like, the last time I checked, censorship was communist, not freedom of speech.
Right.
So I'm a little off on that, but who am I? Dry kiln operator for 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, I know our show's demographic is not technically, tends to be, you know, 40 and older, basically.
Yeah.
We have some younger people that are part of the motorcycle community that do join, but for the most part, I know our demographic is 40 plus, and basically 80% of those are Facebook.
Exactly.
So, Facebook is our number one hit. You know, most of the people that we cater to tend to be on Facebook.
Yep. I know when we do our Facebook Lives, those always go very well. We get a lot of people joining us on Facebook Live. You know, a lot of views on that, which has become a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for most people, that's the show.
There are people, they talk about love your show every Monday, and I'm like, okay, that's just a Monday Night Live. Show is that we actually air on YouTube every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock is when you can find the show. Or it's a podcast. Or it's a podcast. Like, well, we do have a podcast. It's called Steel Horse Thunder and Beyond. We do those. We only do 2 a month, but, you know, we try to do 2 a month.
Right.
But, yeah, somehow or another, Monday Night Live has become the thing. It's, whether it's our show, it's our podcast, it's our, you know, live, it's whatever. That's the main thing that we got going right now.
Yep. And it's funny because when we made all these changes to do just social media and everything, I'm like, you know, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have the show so people can go to YouTube, watch the show. We're going to have the podcast. It's going to be on all the different platforms. Then we're going to have our Monday Night Live, like the news. You know, we cover what we did on the weekend, what's coming up in the next week or two. That's like our news. And somehow that became the fastest growing part of it.
It is funny. Mm-hmm. It has definitely become the thing. You know, this coming Monday, we're going to be going live at the Groggy Goat Taproom in Indiana, Martinsville, Indiana, and that's become a new thing. And so now the first month or first Monday of Mondays and months, I get those mixed up all the time. So the first Monday of every month, we do our live broadcast from there, from the Groggy Goat Taproom. It's adjacent to the Greek's Pizzeria there on the square in Martinsville, Indiana.
Yep.
Martinsville, Indiana is about a half hour south of Indianapolis, just for people that aren't quite familiar with the area. It's considered south central Indiana. We're 30 miles south of Indianapolis, about 15 miles north of Bloomington, which is where IU, Indiana University, is at. Martinsville's a cool little town. I'm trying to think. I think the town is population about 22,000, I think.
Something like that. I know whatever census they did in 2020, it really screwed up the population of Martinsville. It really is like 22 to 24,000. I know it shows a lot less than that now for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's growing fast now.
I always said 18,000, and then I thought it went up to about 22 or so. But it's a small town, and they got the square. You know, you're right on the square. You got the big courthouse right in the middle. It's kind of cool place. They have places like the Candy Kitchen, which is over 100 years old.
Right.
Arguably, the first candy cane ever made was in that.
That's what they say.
And that's arguable, but they are part of that argument, which is kind of cool. But
it is really cool to go in and watch them making the candy canes.
It is cool. You also got Gillespie's Cigar Bar upstairs, which is like stepping back into the 1930s.
Right.
It's the way they've got the decor in there and everything else, and you have your nice big plush leather seats that you can sit in, your coffee tables, and they got the big walk-in humidor to choose from, cigars all over, and then they have the bar area, so if you'd rather sit at the bar, you can sit right at the bar and have your ashtray.
Santos will make you whatever you want.
So it's and they have craft beer on tap, they have regular beer. It's just a fantastic place. I know Javier is in the process right now with he's putting a nice steakhouse.
Yep. Is it 1815?
Something like that. 1815, 1915, whatever.
One of the 15s.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. They're getting pretty close. The outside looks amazing.
I talked with him last week, and he said he was hoping by July that they could actually be open as early as July.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, there's so many cool places on the square. And there's an Italian restaurant there most people don't even know about.
Right. Yeah, a lot of eateries there now. You have a lot of choices. I ran into somebody and they said something about, it's the only bad thing about working here in Martinsville. They had ordered and the what are those to-go people that come and get your food and bring it to you?
Uber Eats and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the guy was delivering, it was Chili's. And they were like, it's the only drawback to being in Martinsville. One restaurant to choose from. I was like, one restaurant to choose from? It's like maybe Chili's. I mean,
name brand chain, maybe.
Yeah,
right.
It's like, all right, there's a Chili's here, and you have a Golden or a Texas Corral steakhouse right next to Chili's.
Right.
But then it's like, oh my God, you got 4 Mexican restaurants in this little town.
Right.
And I'm thinking, just on the square alone, you have an Italian restaurant. You got the Greek's Pizzeria. You got Come and Get It, which is home cooked style meals.
Main Street Bar and Grill.
Main Street Bar and Grill. You got Gather Round Barbecue.
Yeah.
Right off the square, just a block off of the square. One of the Mexican restaurants is right there on the square, like you said, the Italian restaurant. Getting ready to be the steakhouse, which is going to be like 2 blocks off the square.
Right.
So all of it.
There's a lot right on the square.
And I just remember thinking, you you only saw one restaurant in this entire town? It's like, dear Lord, they're all over the place now.
Yeah, I mean, over by Walmart, you got Chili's, Texas Corral, Wings, etc.
And then, of course, you have all your fast food places.
Yeah,
You got your
all
Taco
fast,
Bells,
yeah.
McDonald's, Burger King, Dairy Queen, Wendy's.
Yeah.
Well, they even have one of those, what's the Butterburger people?
Oh, yeah. Culver's.
Culver's.
Yeah.
There's even a Culver's in Martinsville. There's a Culver's in Martinsville. You know, then you have like Indies, which is more of a
breakfast place. I mean, they have lunch and dinner there too, but
they do
specialized breakfast.
Their breakfast is their main thing.
Yes.
Their breakfast is fantastic.
Yeah. If you're going to go there on Sunday, you better be there early, because there's no parking on Sundays.
We went there last Sunday.
Oh, did you?
Our friends were up from Kentucky. We went, and so they said they were going to be getting up around 8 o'clock. I said, all right. I said, yeah, we can run over there. I said, they get really busy on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And we got there, and there was no waiting. They sat down and like, yeah, I thought you said this was going to be busy. I said, I'm a lot earlier than what I normally am. I said, a little while here. I said, this place, I said, you'll see cars parked on the road, off the side of the road to get in here. And sure enough, by the time we left, the place was packed. They had a big long waiting line to get his table. And so, yeah, tons of stuff to do in the town of Martinsville. So I love the fact that, you know, doing our Monday Night Live from there, to me, it's kind of a historical kind of place to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, the Groggy Goat is just, I mean, Kyler is just so on board with motorcyclists and stuff like that. So he's so super excited about it. So, like I said, the first Monday of every month, that's where you're going to find us at. It's live it's at 7 p.m. Every Monday. And that's when we get the information out. What rides we covered the weekend before, you know, what rides we're going to cover this coming weekend. And then, you know, it gives people an opportunity that are there. We can have them hop on board with us, and then they talk about the ride they got coming up in the next week or two or whatever. And it was just a riot. There were a ton of people, packed the place out. The place was full Monday, and a lot of people came out for our very first Monday Night Live there in April.
I was surprised because it was a chilly evening. It wasn't like it was super warm or nothing. And to have that many people come out, being the first time doing it there.
Yeah, and quite a few people drove their car, and that's unheard of. Anytime I've ever put any kind of event together, and it's like, hey, this is not a motorcycle event. Yes, it's Steel Horse Thunder, but, you know, it's December, so obviously we're going to be in our cars. And then have 1,000 people tell me, well, yeah, it was just too cold. I couldn't ride.
You have more than just a motorcycle.
Do you tell your boss that every day at work in the winter? You just not show up all winter long? Say, oh, no, it's just too cold to ride. No, you hop in your truck or you hop in your car and you take that. It's like, yeah, we used to do the Halloween thing. We used to have the Halloween party every year. And so many people, oh, it's just too cold. Just too cold to ride. There's no way I could ride my motorcycle. Yeah, nobody rode their motorcycle. Everybody showed up in cars and trucks.
Right.
It is funny.
It is.
It is funny. It's like that same vehicle you use every day of the winter to get to work and back, or to get to the store and back, or to go to church and back. That's the same vehicle you could have used.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, Groggy Goat, Martinsville, first Monday of every month. Doing that Facebook Live there. A lot of fun. You know, again, we got another one getting ready to come up now, and